everyone. Thank you so much for joining class this evening. This is going to be a 45-minute beginner level class, as always designed to be challenging, but I will definitely be offering lots of modifications throughout class today. So we're going to start standing right in the middle of your mat. Go ahead and widen your feet. We're just going to start with some nice big deep breaths and stretches overhead. Let's do this a few times. Setting our intention for class today and remembering that we are moving our bodies today out of love for our bodies, not punishing our bodies, not as an act of hating our bodies, but because we are so thankful that our bodies can do this at all. This is an act of gratitude. We are moving our bodies to honor our bodies. Let's go ahead and stretch over to the left side with that left arm overhead. Nice deep breath for a stretch in that oblique side, and we'll switch arms. There we go. Nice deep breaths. We'll stretch over to this side again. And switch sides one more time. All right, let's come to the back of our mats, and we're going to do a couple plank walkouts. So go ahead and just dive down toward your mat nice and slow. We're just kind of warming up the whole body here. Walk out to a plank and hold it for just a second. And then we're going to walk it back up to the back of your mat and slowly just roll your spine, stack your vertebrae on top of each other. Nice and slow, deep breath. And then we'll go back down. So we'll dive down to our mat, slowly walk out. Nice strong core as we're in this position. If you'd like to, you can come down to your knees. That's perfectly fine. And walk back out to your hands. Slow roll the vertebra and bring your hands overhead. Nice deep breath. One more time. We're going to walk ourselves out. And we're just going to hang out here for a moment. We're going to go from planks to downward facing dogs. So I want you to focus on using the strength of your core as you pike your hips up. You're still on your tiptoes, and push your upper body and your hips up toward the sky. And we're just going to hang out here for a second and then roll back to a plank. And we're just going to do that a few times. So using the strength of your core, push your hips up toward the sky, and then flatten your heels down onto your mat as much as you can. You want your weight in your upper body between your pointer finger and your thumb. That's where you want most of the weight, onto your tippy toes, and ripple your body forward into a plank. Going to do a few more of those, going at your own pace and just breathing however feels natural for you. Keep going at your own pace. Remember to keep your gaze when we're in the plank position. Keep your gaze at the mat, and when we're here in the downward dog position, keep your gaze down at your around your calves, so between your knees and your ankles. Just going to do a couple more here. Remember to breathe. Really warming up the entire body with this move. All right, next time you're in downward dog, we're going to stay here. Maybe just bring your feet an inch or two in a little bit closer so that your heels can more comfortably be down on the mat. Make sure that your spine is nice and long. You're not locking out your elbows. And we're just going to lift up that right leg and then set it back down. And we're going to stay on the same side. Lift up that right leg again and set it back down. So we're really isolating that right booty cheek in this position. Doing really good. This is not easy. You're also going to feel this in your hamstrings quite a bit. Make sure you're breathing in this position. If this is a little bit too much, you can always also just hold downward dog. That'll be a great stretch for you too. All right, let's go ahead and switch legs in this position. So we'll lift up that left leg just only as high as you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be a huge range of motion. Even if you feel like you can only get it a couple feet off the ground. That's still great. Movement is movement. Remember not to lock out your elbows. Still breathing. We're just going to do a couple more here. My shoulders are starting to shake a little bit. All right, come on down. Bring it into a child's pose. Widen your knees a little bit. Move slowly because the blood might have been rushing to your head there a little bit. Just a nice deep stretch, nice deep breaths. That was quite a fiery way to start class. So great job. All right, we're going to come back into downward dog. Good way to get into downward dog from this position if you're in all fours is to make sure that you're in a nice square 4-point position and then tuck your toes under and push your hips up to the sky. Again, you can either hold downward dog in this position, or we're going to try to do some down dog push-ups, some shoulder push-ups. So in your downward dog position, I just want you to bend your elbows and try to bring your head as close to the mat as you're able to, and then push yourself away. As you can see, I'm not able to get my head all the way down to the mat, but that's okay because this is building my strength, and I'm sure someday I will be able to get my head all the way down to the mat, but we're all building our strength. If this is a little bit too much for you, you don't have to go down as far. However far you're able to is great. It's all building strength. Or again, you can just hold the downward dog position. That's good too. Let's just do one more. So good. Bring it down to a child's pose. Yeah, we are definitely effectively warmed up. That's for sure. All right, come up and just roll out your wrists just a little bit, because we were putting quite a bit of pressure on your wrists. So roll your wrists out both directions. All right, and then we're just going to come down into a prone series, meaning on your stomach. So come down onto your mat, on your belly. Go ahead and widen your legs out to the width of your mat. To be in safe alignment in this position, you're going to want to drop your pubic bone down heavy into the mat. That'll engage your glutes. Just in dropping your pubic bone down and kind of tucking your tailbone, that'll force your glutes to engage, which will help keep your spine nice and strong. Bring your chest down to the mat, and I want your gaze to also be down toward the mat. So your nose is like facing right down toward the mat, but your head is lifted off the mat. So go ahead and put your arms, your palms face down right underneath your armpits, and we're going to do some scapular isolation exercise here. We're going to lift up our palms up off the mat, and in this position, I want your shoulder blades, your scapula, to be nice and squeezing together as if you had a penny in between your shoulder blades, and then go ahead and set your palms back down to the ground. And we lift up our palms as we squeeze our shoulder blades together and set them back down. Keep going at your own pace. So I want this motion, I want you to think less about the power coming from just lifting your hands off the mat, but more so that you're squeezing your shoulder blades together so tightly that it is lifting your palms off the ground, if that makes sense. Keep breathing in this position. It's super easy to just stop breathing when we're down doing work on our stomachs, but make sure you're still breathing through all of these exercises. Doing super good. All right, we're going to add on to this just a little bit. So go ahead and lift those palms up off the ground. If you're up for it, you can either keep going with those palm lifts, or you can extend your hands out overhead, palms down to the ground, and then just squeeze back in and then set your palms back down. So nice big inhale. Exhale as we lift the palms up off the ground, extend out overhead, and squeeze it back in. Set it down. Nice. Breathe however it feels normal for you, but I do find that it's helpful to exhale on the exertion part of the exercise. We'll just do a couple more here. This is so good for your posture and so good for your upper back and just really your entire back muscles all together is so good. All right, go ahead and lay your cheek down to the mat and just roll out your hips from side to side to release some of that pressure that was Maybe building in your lower back. Good. Okay, we're gonna do a triple pulse little tricep series here. So we're gonna be in that same position with your chest down on the mat, gaze toward the mat, but your arms are going to be out long by your sides with your palms up to the sky. So what we're gonna do, remember to keep your pubic bone down heavy into the mat, tuck your tailbone, abs are on, still breathing in this position. What we're gonna do, palms up to the sky, we're just going to pulse our arms up to the sky. And you will immediately start to feel this in the backs of your arms and your triceps. You can go at whatever speed you feel like. This is a pretty moderate speed that I'm doing, but you can definitely go slower. Maybe you probably don't go much faster because you do want it to be a controlled movement. So we're going to do 3 different kinds of pulses in this position, then we'll take a break, and then we'll repeat those pulses again. You're probably feeling this in your triceps. I don't know how you couldn't be feeling this in your triceps. Go ahead and flip your palms so they are facing one another. Pretend like you have a big old beach ball that you're squeezing behind your back, and I just want you to squeeze your palms together. Oh my Lord, this is so difficult so quickly. I swear, weightless arm workouts get me every single time. And they're so effective in such a little amount of time. Remember to keep breathing. Remember that your abs are still on. Remember that your gaze is still down toward the mat. Squeeze that beach ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip your palms down to the ground now so they're facing the ground. You can kind of move your arms out a little bit because you won't be able to tuck them by your side as much, and then just beat down toward the ground. So you're pulsing down toward the ground. This is going to move the work a little bit up into your deltoid region. A little bit more shoulder here. Tuck that tailbone, abs are on. Take nice deep breaths for me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Oh my goodness. That is very effective in a very short amount of time. Just wiggle your hips back and forth a little bit. I promise we're going to stretch out your triceps in just a second, but we are going to repeat that one more time. But we're only going to do 8 reps of each of those pulses, so I won't make you do as many as we just did. Okay, you can do this. This is difficult, but you got it. So arms long behind you, palms up toward the sky. We're going to pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms face each other like the beach ball. Squeeze the beach ball for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms to the ground, beat toward your mat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and push yourself back into a child's pose. Fantastic job. Oh, that was not easy. If you, in this position in the child's pose, if you clasp your hands together and then just set your clasped palms onto your head, that'll kind of make you feel the stretch in your triceps a little bit. It'll focus on the back of your arms and that stretch. Just take nice deep breaths. All right, so upper body is definitely fired up. We're going to go into a little ab series. I'm going to take a quick sip. Little ab series here. So go ahead and come down onto your backs, onto your mat with your feet bent. Excuse me, your knees, your knees bent. And we're going to go into ab prep. If you've done one of my classes before, you've probably done ab prep at least 1 or 2 times. So in this position, we want to make sure that our spines are nice and safe and healthy in this position. So we're going to be in neutral spine. A good way to find neutral spine is to place your fingertips on your pubic bone and then just lift up your head so you can look down at that lower region of your stomach and make sure that it's a nice tabletop like horizontal plane that's completely level and steady. So if I were to place a tray of marbles on that lower region of your stomach, all the marbles would be still. They wouldn't be tilting back or forward or rolling all around. That's how we know we're in neutral spine. And that's going to cause a little bit of a gap between your mat and the back as well. And that's great. That's a good sign that you're in neutral spine if you have a little bit of a gap there. So go ahead and engage that deep transversus abdominis. A good way to find those muscles and connect with them is if you cough, just give a little cough and you'll feel how your abdominal muscles retract and engage. You're going to want to hold on to that engagement as we go through ab prep. That still means that you are able to breathe. We just want to have a little bit of engagement in those deep abs, okay? So arms down by your side. I want you to shoot energy out through your fingers, out through your arms, and then lift your head and your shoulders just up to the breastbone. This is your mid-thoracic spine, and we're hinging at that mid-thoracic spine here, and then just come back down. Again, you can exhale on the exertion, so take a nice deep breath in, and exhale as you come up. Keep that gap between your mat and the back. Come on down and then just keep going at your own pace with these. We are engaging that transversus abdominis. It's doing all the work for us. We still have a neutral spine, so that tray of marbles on your low stomach is nice and steady. Not a single marble is moving. I also want you to keep a healthy balance, a healthy gap between your chin and your chest, so you're not tucking your chin too much. Imagine that you have a small orange tucked between your chin and your chest to keep your cervical spine, your upper spine nice and safe. Waking up that abdominal wall in this position. Let's just do a couple more. Very nice. Okay, we're gonna do pelvic tilts now in a couple different positions. So again, I want you to put your fingertips on your pubic bone. And if you're not familiar with pelvic tilt, I'll try to explain it in a way that makes sense. So I want you to think about tucking your tailbone under, and that's going to press your low back down into the ground. Retract your abs, and as you can tell with your hands on your lower stomach here, you can see that your fingers that are on your pubic bone are lifting up toward the sky a little bit. My arms are literally still shaking from that tricep series that we did. My hands are like trembling. Okay, so just go ahead and continue to tuck that tailbone under, press the lower back into the mat, and then push it back away back into neutral spine. These are called pelvic tilts, and we're going to do these in a couple different positions. So engage those abs to pull your pubic bone toward you, to pull your pelvis towards you. Tuck the tailbone under, and then push it back into neutral. This is a great, really simple ab exercise. It's, you're not really moving a whole lot, but you really do feel it in those low abs. I'm just going to do a couple more of these. All right, now a little bit of a challenge for you. I want you to lift your legs to tabletop, and we're going to do pelvic tilts in this position. But the catch is that I don't want you to move your knees. I want your knees to be in the same position as we're doing these pelvic tilts. So a good way to keep yourself in check is just to lay your palms flat on your thighs or on your knees, and then do a pelvic tilt in this position. So tuck that tailbone like we were doing with our feet on the ground. Tuck the tailbone, press the lower back down into the mat. Abs are super engaged. Pubic bone has come up a little bit more toward the sky, and then back into neutral spine. So you have a gap between your mat and the back. So if you are feeling that your knees are really pushing against your hands, then you're probably not quite moving the pelvis in the exact proper way. So try to keep your knees in the exact same position so that your lower body's not really moving at all. It's just your pelvis that's doing the tilting here. So an improper example would be if I was rolling my entire lower body up as I'm tilting and tucking my tailbone. That's not what we're going for. We want the lower body to be completely still as we're doing this tiny little movement of the pelvic tilt. Right, hopefully you're feeling that in your body. This is also a pretty difficult move. All right, go ahead and bring your feet down on the ground. We are going to do a little bit of prep to do a roll up. So go ahead and lengthen your legs out so you are in one long flat line on the mat. And we're going to do ab prep as well as pelvic tilt in this position. So we're going to start with straight leg ab prep. So again, just like when our feet were on the ground and our knees were bent, we're going to do the exact same thing where you still have that little orange tuck between your chin and your chest. There's still a gap between your mat and the back. And it is quite easy to be a neutral spine in this position. So if you had a tray of marbles on your lower stomach right now, it would probably be pretty easily steady. So power and energy coming through your fingertips, through your arms. Lift up your chin and, or excuse me, your head and your shoulders, and then set yourself back down. And we go up, only coming up to that breastbone region. Right around that bra strap is where we're wanting to stop the motion. Really firing through your entire abdominal wall. It's also going to help if you glue your legs together in this position. So glue your thighs together, glue your knees together, your toes together. Make sure you're breathing. Very good. Last one here. Good. Okay, now in this position, we're going to do pelvic tilt in this position. So this one is going to feel like you're not really able to move very much at all, and that's okay because really you're not going to be able to move very much at all in this position. So still keeping your legs glued together, go ahead and try and tuck that tailbone under. To help you know if you're doing this correctly, go ahead and lay your hand on top of your lower stomach with your fingertips on your pubic bone. Tuck your tailbone under and see if your fingers lift up toward the sky a little bit. If your pubic bone lifts up toward the sky, pull in those abs to pull that pelvis back. Tuck that back into the mat and then push it back into neutral spine here. This is all preparation for our roll up that we're about to do in just a second here. Do a couple more. This is like working on the fine, deep, deep muscle fibers. Okay, so we are going to put this all together and go into our roll up. So go ahead and put your hands up over your head, stretch out nice and long. I want you to take a nice deep breath for me. We're going to bring our hands overhead as we exhale into ab prep. And then we're going to do a pelvic tilt. And then we're going to continue to roll all the way up. So it's really helpful to focus on that pelvic tilt right in the middle because that's what's going to help you engage the rest of your abdominal wall to bring you up into a roll up, okay? Now we're going to reverse the move to go back down. So we're going to start with a pelvic tilt. So go ahead and tuck your tailbone so your spine's going into a C shape here. Legs are glued together. Squeeze them together and slowly roll your body down vertebra by vertebra and arms go overhead. How did that feel? You just did a roll up. You're amazing. If that felt really hard, it's probably because it is really hard. You're doing a really hard Pilates move right now. So way to go. We're going to do a few more. Nice deep breath. Arms go overhead. We're going to lift our head and shoulders into ab prep. Let's take a little breath right here. So inhale. Exhale to your pelvic tilt. And go ahead and bring yourself up. Exhale into a roll up and stack the spine nice and straight. Let's bring it on back down. Pelvic tilt, tuck your tailbone. Engage your abs. Squeeze your legs together. Slow, slow, slow. All the way down. One vertebra at a time. And arms overhead. Fantastic job. One more. Deep breath in. Arms come over into your ab prep. Inhale. Exhale into your pelvic tilt. And then continue that motion all the way up and stack your spine. You're amazing. That was so good. You just did multiple roll-ups. Those are super hard. Okay. So we are going to stay in this position. We're going to do a half roll down. So just like we did when we were rolling ourselves back down, except we're going to stop halfway. That's why we call it a half roll down. So I want you to, again, start with that pelvic tilt. So tuck your tailbone under, your abs are engaged, your legs are squeezing together, and your arms are still reaching out ahead. And I want you to go only as far back as if you feel like you're going to drop behind and you're gonna tip back over. That's where I want you to stop, where your abs catch. So you're in a nice C-shape spine here. And we're gonna do what's called rib cage arms in this position. So go ahead and drop your hands down to your thighs and then bring them up by your ears. Down to the thighs, up by the ears. Make sure you're breathing. Your legs are squeezing together. Your abs are working so hard right now. You're doing so good. Fantastic job. My whole abdominal wall is trembling right now. Working so hard. Let's do a couple more. Last one. And roll back up until your spine is nice, stacked up straight. Great job. Just take a nice deep breath. Shake out your legs a little bit. You're working hard. We're going to do that one more time, except we're going to do our arms out a little bit wider this time. So let's go into our half roll down again. So tuck the tailbone, come down just until you feel like you're about to fall backwards, and squeeze your legs together harder. Make sure that you still have that orange between your chin and your chest. Your abs are on. You're in a nice C-shaped spinal curve here. And just like we were doing, we're just going to bring our arms out a little bit wider this time, and we're going to do the same thing. So go ahead and touch the ground, arms up by the ears. So good. I can't talk much in this position because this is very challenging. You're doing great. If this is a little bit too much, you can always bring the arms back down in the middle. You can just not go back as far too. That's a great modification. One more. And roll all the way until your spine is stacked nice and tall. Great job. That was so hard and you did amazing. Go ahead and flip on over into a 4-point kneeling position. And we're just going to do a couple cat-cows here. So make sure you're nice and square in a 4-point position, and we're going to drop that belly down to the mat and face up to the sky. Nice inhale as we reverse that shape. So you're going to press your upper back up to the sky and tuck your chin so you're looking at your pubic bone. Nice and slow. Just do a couple more of those at your own pace. Very good. Okay, so we're going to stay in this position and we're going to do a little 4-point kneeling series. So with this right leg, we're just going to start with a few hip circles. So go ahead and come back into a 90-degree angle and then circle your knee around. So I want you to imagine that you are just drawing a circle with your knee on the ground. So we're just warming up our hips in this position. It doesn't matter which direction you go, honestly, because we are going to just switch directions here in a second. So go nice and slow. I want you to imagine in this position that you are a nice, stable, flat park bench. So if someone were to sit on your back, it would be a nice, strong place to sit. So your back is not arching toward the sky and it's not dropping down toward the mat. Go ahead and switch directions. Whatever direction you were going with your leg, go ahead and switch directions. This isn't really going to give you too big of a range of motion. That's fine. This is just warming up that hip mobility. Oh, nice deep breaths. We are coming up toward the end of class here and you're doing fantastic. Okay, so go ahead and put your knee back down on the ground and we're just going to place our hands maybe, I would say, about 2 or 3 inches farther up toward the front of your mat. And we are just going to lean a little bit. So instead of being in a perfectly square 4-point position, we're going to be leaning forward just a little bit. We're going to be working that right leg still. So I want you to take your knee and cross it under over to the left wrist, touch the right wrist, lean back and give me a double pulse with a long leg. Okay, so we go left wrist, right wrist, long leg, double pulse. Left wrist, right wrist. Send the leg back and double pulse. So we're thinking abs, abs, booty. All right, and in this position, remember to keep your spine nice, long, and strong. So we're not trying to arch our spine so we can get more air with the leg. That is not being very, that's going to end up hurting your spine. So we want to be responsible with the motion. So make sure that you're keeping your spine nice and strong, only going as high with the leg as you're able to while keeping your back nice and flat. Let's just do a couple more here. Going at your own pace, make sure you're breathing. Nice. All right, keep the leg up and go ahead and move your hands back to where they were so you're in a nice square forward point position. I want you to bend that knee and squeeze it in towards your right elbow and then push it back out long behind you. Squeeze it in towards your elbow and push it out long. I don't want you to be moving your upper body as you are squeezing it in. Try your best to keep everything still. The only thing moving is that right leg as it squeezes in toward your knee. There's going to be a little bit of give, a little bit of movement in the upper body, but do your best to try and keep it nice and stable and still. You're going to feel this very much in your right oblique, and that booty's been working this whole time, so great job. Think like you have a box beside you that you're trying to get your leg over. So you want to keep that knee nice and high. Instead of just bringing it like we were to the wrist earlier, we're trying to kind of more aim for the elbow, right? And again, only go as high as you're able to while keeping the proper form in this 4-point kneeling position. All right, when you're in this position with your knee by your elbow, go ahead and drop it down to meet your other knee and then just bring it back up. These are called fire hydrants. I'm going to do a few of these. You'll also start to notice that the bent leg that's on the ground, the left leg, she's still working too. She's getting a sneaky little burn over there. She's not completely dormant as we're moving our right leg. She's still getting plenty of work over on the left side. All right. Go ahead and come back into a child's pose just to release all of that tension, all that power that is surging through your muscles. All right, almost done with working your right side. Come back up into that 4-point kneeling position. We're still going to be working the right leg. So go ahead and send it long behind you. We're going to do rainbow leg lifts. So I want you to picture lifting your leg up, crossing it over to the opposite side of your mat, lifting it up and touching the other side of your mat. So you're drawing a little rainbow behind you from one corner of your mat to the other, nice and slow. Again, trying to keep your upper body nice and still. So the only thing moving is that right leg. You are nice and stable. Very good. We are burning out this right side, and then we're going to switch over to the left. Doing so good. All right, let's go ahead and hold it right back behind you, and we're just going to do little pulses. Just a few inches up and down here. All that strength coming from your glute, from your hamstring. You are so strong. This is not easy. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's do pigeon pose to stretch out that right side. So go ahead and slide your right knee up to your right wrist and then shift your shin underneath your body as far as you feel comfortable. And then just slide that left leg back. You're going to feel the stretch really move into that exactly where we were just working, into your hamstring and your booty. You can move your hands out a little farther toward the top of your mat to get a deeper stretch, or you can even lay your elbows down on the ground so your chest is closer to the mat too. Don't collapse down into that left side. Make sure that you are kind of more sitting on that right butt cheek as much as you can. Nice deep breaths. So good. Okay, let's go ahead and do the left side. So slowly come out of that position there. And we're going to switch to the other side. So we're going to start again with those hip circles. So we're in a nice square 4-point kneeling position. Go with whatever direction you'd like. And we're just going to start with those hip circles. Abs are still on in this position, and that'll help you keep your spine nice and long and strong and not arching and bending when it shouldn't be. All right, go ahead and reverse that direction. Nice job. This is a great move just for hip mobility in general. Even if you're just doing a nice rest day and stretching, this is a great one to incorporate. All right, we're going to start with those ab booty rock to the wrist move. I don't really know what to call it, so that's what we're going with. Go ahead and move your hands out a couple inches closer to the top of your mat, and we're going to work that left leg now. So we're going to rock to the right wrist, left wrist, lean back and give me a double pulse. Moving nice and slow here. Right wrist, left wrist, pulse, pulse. Keep going. If it's uncomfortable to be on your wrists, because I know we've been doing a lot of work for our wrists in this workout, you can always just come up on your fists as well. That'll give your wrists a rest from being leaned on so much today. Remember, only lift that leg behind you as far as you're able to while keeping proper form. That is your sweet spot of being safe in the workout, but still building strength, building muscle. Pushing yourself, but keeping proper form. Very good. Gaze down toward the mat. You're breathing. Let's just do one more here. Very good. Keep that leg up, and you're going to place your hands back where they were, so you're in a nice square 4-point position, 4-point kneeling position, and we're going to do that knee to elbow pull, right? So pretend like you have that small box sitting beside you on your left side, and you're trying to get your knee and your leg over that box to touch your elbow. Get it as high as you can while trying to keep that upper body nice and stable. I like to exhale as I bring my knee in. Inhale as I bring it back behind me. Keep going. You're doing super good. I feel my right glute starting to fire in this position as well. Full body burn here. All right, next time you get your knee to your elbow, we're just going to switch those fire hydrants. So just bring it down and then up. Try not to lean as you bring your leg up. Try not to lean over to the right side. We're trying to keep it completely still. Try and put more weight into your left hand. That'll force the correct muscles to work in this position. Anytime your body starts to get fatigued, it tries to find ways out of the discomfort by recruiting other muscles that we're not trying to work. So make sure we're working the right muscles here. All right, come back into child's pose for just a moment. Keep on stretching. I'm just going to check the time because I did forget to start my timer. All right. We just have a few minutes left of class here. So we're gonna go ahead into that rainbow leg lift in this 4-point kneeling position. Send that left leg out long behind you, and we're gonna draw that rainbow behind you from one corner of your mat to the other. It's easy in this position to try and go into like a seesaw motion while arching your back while lifting your leg, but that is not our goal. Our upper body and our spine is nice and stable, and we are lifting our leg using our glutes, not momentum. Your full body has gotten such a wonderful workout today. You have done amazing, and you've honored your body by moving it and by challenging it today. Draw a couple more rainbows for me. All right, then we're gonna hold it back and just pulse it. This is our last move. Last move of class today, and then we're gonna stretch it out real good. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So good. All right, stretch. We are gonna go into our pigeon pose again. So go ahead and slide that left knee forward to the left wrist and move that shin under your body. Slide the right leg back so you are leaning over to the left side, booty cheek. Nice deep breaths. You can move your arms out a little bit farther away from your body for deeper stretch. Focus on this muscle right here and just try to breathe into it. A little mind-body connection to help you stretch out there. All right, go ahead and come on up. We are gonna just sit here cross-legged for a moment. I want you to reach up your right arm and just stretch over to the left side, supporting yourself with your left hand on the mat. And then we're going to sweep over to the other side. So you're going to bring your chest down closer to the mat and then switch arms. So you're now have your left hand up in the sky and you're reaching toward the right side. Love that stretch. It feels so good. Go ahead and come on up. And we're going to do that starting with this side now. So again, lean over to your right side with your left hand up in the sky. And then we're just going to lean forward and sweep on over to the other side, lifting the right hand into the sky. Leaning over to the left now. This feels amazing. Love how that stretch feels on my back and my side. Go ahead and come on up. Let's do a couple little wrist stretches since, like I said, we did a lot of wrist work today. Go ahead and grab your fingertips and just push your palm away from you as you pull your fingers toward you. Just be really gentle with this move. But this is going to give your wrists a nice stretch. It's also going to stretch out your forearms really nicely. Again, be gentle with this, but just gently pull your fingertips back toward you. And then we're going to flip our hand so that our palm is facing us now. And we're going to just gently press the palm toward us. Really, really gentle. This is just stretching the wrist in the opposite direction. Nice deep breaths. Let's go ahead and switch hands here. So palm away from you, pull your fingertips back toward you. So you feel the stretch in your, all the way through your fingertips, through your palm, through your wrist and your forearms. And then flip your hand so that your palm is facing you, and you're just going to gently press that hand toward you. So your palm is toward you. All right, and just a couple more breaths to finish off class today. So arms overhead, deep breath. You did a hard thing that's so good. Nice big exhale, one more. fantastic job today. Thank you so much for joining class. I appreciate every single one of you that takes classes from me. So thank you so much. And I would also absolutely love to hear what you thought of today's class. If you'd like to give me some feedback, I would love to hear it. So stay tuned for more class schedules for upcoming virtual classes and in-person classes. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night and rest of your week.